I'm sure you know the golden rule, right? The golden rule. Treat others how you wish to be treated. Wow. What about the platinum rule? Which, when it comes to communication and landing your message, far more effective. The platinum rule is treat others how they want to be treated. So it's really important if you are trying to connect with somebody and you've been trying and trying, it's important to understand that your way is not the only way. And your way may not be the right way. Because when it comes to communication, there are actually 4 quite basic but easily recognizable personality styles. Now, with those personality styles, research supports, this is whether you've done DOPE, as in the birds, dove, owl, peacock, eagle. This is ISL colours, so if you know about the colours workshops, red, green, blue, yellow, and Tetramap also talks about different personality styles and being able to recognise them. So when we talk specifically about communication, we're going to use the same type of research, but it helps us to understand that if your communication's not getting through, it's because your needs, expectations and preferences around communication may be different to the person you're trying to connect and communicate with, which can be very frustrating both ways. So let's lay out the 4 communication styles so that you can recognize your style, your needs, your preferences, your expectations, so that you can tell people what those are, and let's help you to recognize the other styles as well. So our first style of communication, you may know it, is that of drivers. You know you are communicating with a driver because all they want you to do is get to the point and get there fast. Don't need context, don't need a lot of fluff. In fact, details are not really where they hang out. And that's because ultimately our drivers are task focused. They're all about getting stuff done. GSD. And in fact, let's put that there because that'll help us figure that out. Get stuff done. You can also recognize drivers because they tend to be quite fast-paced in their thinking. Doesn't take a lot of processing, and they tend to be quite tell-orientated. So let me tell you what needs to happen. Let me tell you where to from here. So those are our driver communication style. And one of the next styles is influencers. Now you are communicating with an influencer because there's a good chance they're the ones chatting. They love to chat. Very socially dynamic, very energizing, because in their heart, our influencers are our natural spokespeople. Quite happy to talk up, quite happy to speak up. You'll also notice them similar to drivers because they tend to be pretty fast-paced and tell-orientated. Now, if this was light on details, this is details schmetails. Don't need a lot of details. And so our influencers ultimately are about getting social and being social connectors. And that's because at their heart, not so focused about tasks. What they are focused on more than anything is people and connections. And so then we have our supporters. Our supporter communication style. You know you're communicating with a supporter because there's probably a good chance they're the ones listening. Our supporters tend to be quite calm, chilled out, relaxed in their communication because ultimately they are helpful, thoughtful, considerate. That's what they do. What our supporters are great at is bringing harmony and bringing a team together. These communication style, these people have this dominant communication style, tend to be the quiet achievers. They don't need to talk about it a lot. They just get on and do it. And this is where our supporters, also people focused like our influencers, but it's far more ask orientated. So expect questions from our supporters, and this is far more details orientated down here. So it's going to take them longer to process the information. So do not expect a fast response from our supporters. And then we get on to our last of the 4 communication styles, which is that of our analyzers. Facts, data, stats, evidence, proof. That is absolutely where our analyzers hang out. Their language tends to be numbers, context, and they love that information. Great at research. They are fabulous at finding problems and faults. They will see where something falls over before something being hugely brilliant and optimistic. And so if drivers are all about goals and getting stuff done, influencers are about social dynamics and bringing connection. Our supporters are all about that care factor and harmony. Our analyzers, what they care about most, what they're probing for, is a quality approach. Now, when we look at the different communication styles, it's really important to be able to, or useful to be able to know what your dominant style is. Because, yeah, we're all a bit of everything. And that's why labeling really unuseful. And I do hear that in organisations that have used some kind of profiling tool in the past, that they go, oh, you're A, and I'm A, and therefore I can't work with you because. Now that tends to be bit of a cop-out, because we're all a bit of everything, but you do have a dominant communication style, and that dominant style influences how you communicate, your preferences, needs, and expectations. So when we look at this, what we can see quite often, our greatest challenge will be with the style directly opposite us, because drivers and influencers share fast and tell, drivers and analyzers share tasks, supporters and influencers share people, and supporters and analyzers share ask and slow. So that challenge often comes with an opposite style, because it might just be, why are they not picking up what I'm putting down? What I love about understanding communication styles is when you get to know your style, your needs, your preferences, you can make that explicit. You can share that information with others, and then get to know the other styles so that you can then give them what they need. Because when someone speaks in your style, what happens is this beautiful thing. I don't know if you can see that, so much writing over the top, but it's this quality of trust. We need drivers, we need influencers, we need supporters, and we need analyzers. Together, they bring the whole package.